Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are all doing well. In the midst of the current pandemic, we all remain passionate about various knowledge. Thank you to the committee who has worked hard to hold this conference, even though it's virtually. Please let me introduce myself. I am Ridowati Gunawan, lecturer at Informatics Study Program, Sanata Dharma University, Yogyakarta. I'd like to take this opportunity to share information about the research I have done and ask for input from all of you to improve this research. I give the research the title High Utility Association Rule Based on Binary Particle Swarm Optimization. I did this research together with my two mentors, Mr. Edi Winarko and Mr. Reza Pulungan. The presentation will be divided into 5 parts. First, the background, and then the problem statement and research objective. After that, the methodology, followed by the results and analysis, and the last is conclusion and future works. Okay, we can see about the background first. As we already know, when we talk about association rule, what emerges in our mind is frequent item set. Okay, the frequent item set is item set that often appears. The quantity and the weight, yeah. The quantity of transaction and the weight of transaction is the same. Okay. The quantity of item in transaction and weight of each item are not considered in the frequent item set because two of the parameter is the same. Even though these two things in real cases are essentially to consider. When looking for association rule from frequent item set, there are two measurements. That is support, and after we have a frequent item set, we need confidence. User must determine in advance support and confidence threshold. The question is how to define the two values, support and confidence. User mostly do it by trial and error. If it is too high, there is possibility that the rules cannot be obtained. If it is too low, it will produce many rules and may be meaningless. There is no generalized of support and confidence threshold. Yeah. When we decide a value of support and confidence, it depends on the data set. When there is change of data, add or remove data, the threshold value which has been determined for those data set is no longer appropriate. There are two problems here. The first is because quantity and weight is the same. In the real case, it's impossible. In the first problem, we can solve by using high utility item set. And then the second problem, when we cannot determine value of support and confidence, we can use computational intelligence. In our case, in our research, we use particle swarm optimization. Here the problem statement and research objective. The first problem statement is association rule from high utility item set cannot be obtained to the high utility item set mining first or simultaneously with the high utility item set. Here from Sarat and Rafi. And then from problem statement, we have a research objective. That is generate high utility association rule mining model based on binary particle swarm optimization. The second problem statement is interestingness measure of the frequent item set association rules has been obtained. You see from frequent item set association rule. But the interestingness measure of high utility association rules cannot be obtained. So our research objective is to obtain the formula for interestingness measure of the high utility association rule. Okay, here our methodology. This research begin with data collection stage, followed by pre-processing state. When finished pre-processing data, we use BPSO approach, yeah, to set a parameter that can be used to improve the performance of BPSO algorithm. There are 4 parameters. Okay. After getting the best parameter, after we finding parameter, the best parameter, next is the search for the utility item set. Okay. Jadi first we find best parameter, and then we mining data using the best parameter of BPSO. And the result is high utility item set with testing. After we testing, we can obtain high utility item set. Here is state for finding high utility item set. And then after we find a high utility item set, we can next step, yeah, to search association rule. The search for association rules is carried out without first determining the minimum threshold of utility confidence. Okay. The result of the rules obtained are testing using interestingness. Here, the best result from measurement is the obtained rule. Apart from using standard step in searching for association rule, the study also search for association rule without first obtaining high utility item set. That is the state of the research as a whole. Okay, so when we find high utility item set, or we find high utility association rule, we can first find high utility item set, or we can simultaneously find high utility item set association rule with high utility item set. So you can see our methodology, we can use this states, or we can use this states. This first and this is second. Okay. Dataset. Dataset use is divided into two major groups, data public and data private. Data public is from FIMI, Frequent Item Set Mining Repository, Chess, Connect, Mushroom, and Accident. And then also we use from Microsoft, Footmart. Here the website, we can download the data public, and the data private is from retail transaction. Preprocessing data public is we do generating quantity using a uniform distribution in rank 1 to 15, and generate the utility using a half normal distribution. And the result after we pre-processing, we can download at my GitHub. Here you can download data public after pre-processing. Here a characteristic of dataset. Next is our algorithm, detail algorithm, our function. First phase is pre-processing, and then initializing and encoding particle, fitness evaluation, and then the last is updating particle. For testing scenario, we use 20 population size, number of iteration 10,000, and then number of rule is only 20 rules that we compare our proposed method with a priori. A priori is standard for frequent item set mining, and for interestingness we calculate utility support, utility confidence, utility lift, and utility improve. And for performance algorithm, we test running time and memory consumption. Here the example from test dataset, which is the public data. Here the summary from the result of the 5 dataset using BPSO. Here execution time, consumption memory, number of lure, average utility, and average utility confidence. And here if we using a priori the same dataset and the same we measure. Okay, here my conclusion. High utility association rule can be obtained using BPSO approach, not only using a priori. Okay, the utility confidence value is quite high, approximately above 80%. The quality of utility association rule also depend on density of the dataset. Too sparse dataset cannot produce good high utility association rule. My example is from data private. It is too sparse, so we cannot produce good high utility item set association rule. For feature works, we can maybe use another intelligent swarm intelligence, such as N colony optimization or P colony. Fitness function can be combined with the interestingness formula. Here we only use utility confident. Maybe fitness function we can combine with utility lift or utility improve. Maybe, yeah, we can do for future works. Okay, I think that's all for me. If you have any question or suggestion, you can contact me directly via email. Here my email. Okay, thank you for your attention.